everyone, Agatha has sent me her latest download to share with you. Now this one is called, I've written it down, hang on, Tiny Doodles, Leafy Plants in Pots, and it is just a one sheet page. But it has all these different designs on it. I haven't counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 6. I'm going to zoom in while I'm doing some maths. It's 42, isn't it? So there's 42 designs. It's a lot, isn't it? But they're small. I'll show you how small in a minute. Once I've come in close, that's as close as I come. This is my pencil sharpener. There you are. That's how small. It's quite a well used pencil sharpener. So they're quite small. I put my finger by it too so you can see. Sorry, my finger there. You can see my colouring callus on that one. Anyway, let's have a little look at all the designs and then I will colour 1 or 2. I don't know how long it'll take. She's thought that they will probably take a few minutes each, but I think it depends how much effort you put in, really. You know, they could take a few minutes. But anyway, I think this might be a sort of idea of from Johanna Basford, Small Victories. There seems to be quite the trend at the moment for smaller designs, simpler designs, and I think it's a good one. And I am enjoying it, and I think these are adorable, so see if you agree. So we have, these are sort of look like cheese plant leaves, I think, in a ornate pot. And then we have some plainer ones in this one. These are in a little bottle, which you could do see-through, because you can see the water through, so like a little bit of a cutting rather than a plant. And here we have a different design of pot. There's lots of different, this one's on a little table or stool, which I rather like. And this one, it could be like a basket. I think it looks a bit like it's in a basket. Go up. I think this one could possibly be a coloured glass pot, but I'm not entirely sure, but that's how it looks to me. I find it quite interesting the way on this one the lines are faded, so down here they're a bit lighter than at the top, which is an interesting effect. I know that these are hand drawn, and then I think they're hand drawn, they might be digitally drawn, but they're sort of enhanced digitally, I think, so that might be a digital effect, I don't know, but I like it. Anyway, we have one here, nice long thin leaves. We have a pair here, look, so we've got one in a bottle. I like this little bubble in the bottle, it's quite fun. And then this one's in a sort of one of these, it looks like when you get wine and there's a sort of baskety bit and then the top, I don't know, I'm not an expert in wine. But anyway, we have another sort of spotty one. Like a little heart, I like that. And cacti, they look happy, don't they? Like they're waving. I like them. A bucket of plants. I guess if you like plants, you plant them in anything. And these are on another one on a little stool, but these look like lettuce. And some thinner ones in a taller. Another cacti. Another one in a little glass vase, I guess, rather than a bottle. And this is like it's in a box. I like that we've got a heart again. I like the heart theme, all the heart-shaped leaves like that. And this is sort of got two together. So you've got a little weeny one and then one with these sort of berries. And one in like a mug, I guess, like a latte mug. I suppose it might be a jug. Just looking at that, I think it's a jug. And then these are like in a, I think that looks a bit baskety. This one looks like it's in one of those kiddie beakers that you get, that used to get melamine ones in different pastel colours. Now, I'm thinking back to my 70s childhood and we didn't ever have them. We used to have the ones that were pink, green, yellow, red, blue with white spots on. There must have been another colour, I don't know what. A little pot. And again, you've got little heart-shaped leaves in a little spotty pot. Look in a baskety bag. It's like in a shopping bag. I like that, it's fun. And another one in a vase. Another one on a table. And of course, makes sense because we don't put plants on the floor. Usually on some sort of table. Not my plants aren't on the floor. But they don't tend to have a table to themselves. that would give them a very big sense of importance, self-importance. There's a little tree on that one. And we have a sort of palm type ones. Another vase design. Another one that looks like it's wooden. And then with more little heart-shaped leaves. A different sort of bowl. These are different leaves again. Little loopies. And our last one here. And it's rather fun. What I'm actually going to do, I think, is start with the first one. Why not? I can't decide, so I'm going to do that. I've got my Polychromos here next to me. I just picked a set of pencils that I thought would fit into these little spaces. Now for me, the palm leaves are always quite dark. So I'm looking at my darker colours. Like the cheese plant, isn't it? I think we'll start with a lighter layer and then darken up. I like doing that. It's got a leaf green, it's quite pale. And I'm going to do the whole of the leaves with this first and then go darker after. Now, I'm not sure about these holes. I think I'm going to leave them because it's hard to know whether the plant would be under that one. Because I'm thinking it would come sort of here, or probably might just not be. I'm going to leave them empty, I think. It's going to make it quite hard for myself though doing that because I've got to colour around them, which makes it a bit tricky. But anyway, what does it matter? I think it's just fun. I'm going to sharpen this a little bit. Yeah, my pencil sharpener is getting rather tatty on the outside. I've lost count of the amount of times I've changed the blades in them. Now, it is really, really, really useful being able to get a new blade for your sharpener. And we write to Castell and they send them to us. And you can't buy them in the UK, just blades. Last time, husband, he does it for me. He's got contact at Castell. It makes him sound very important. It's just someone in customer services. He last time he had to sort of make a declaration that, you know, he knew they were sharp or something like that. I'm actually surprised that they're allowed to be posted in the UK. I guess they're coming in rather than going out. We're getting really strict on what you can post out of the UK. I think it's since we left the EU. If you're posting into the EU now, the rules are quite harsh, whereas when we were within the EU, I don't really understand it. Anyway, rules have changed and we have to be really wary about what we're posting, and you have to use a customs label on European mail when we didn't used to have to bother. Things like that. And sometimes when I go to the post office and if I'm just posting a few sheets of paper, I don't tend to normally bother with a customs label, but these days they ask you for one. I'm going up to pine green now. I'll try and make it show up. This is obviously really dark, but I think I can go straight from this one to the pine. So I'm going to go along the edges of the stem. I'm completely out of the lines there. Probably because it's not quite sharp enough. But anyway, there we go. So along the edges of the stems, you don't have to go out the lines if you don't want to. Now with each leaf, I'm just thinking about them. I think I'm going to make the outside really dark. So layering up here and then going less towards the middle. Because I think these tend to have a bit of a shine. I quite like the shine to be down the middle. I don't know why, it's just what I'm thinking at the minute. There's no why or wherefore. It's just, you know, if you want to know how to colour it realistically, I mean, if you think this is a cheese plant leaf, which of course it could be something completely different, I'm sure it might even just be made up. Look at a picture and copy that if you want it to be more realistic. I'm just sort of guessing and having a go, but it doesn't mean it's right. Now I've started to go over the lines here, which is a bit unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because I can either leave it and not worry, or I can go over it with my white. Because this paper's white, if I use a white pen in there, it might just not look like it's white. I don't know if that makes sense. It might just look like the paper. Now here where they're overlapping, it's going to be quite dark. I'm going to do that in a minute and make it a bit darker. Probably not with this green, but with something a bit darker. Darker still. I had a lovely walk with my son just before lunch. He was revising and he was struggling a bit. And I said, "Do you want to walk to clear your head?" And he was like, "Yeah." So, and my husband and other son were doing some work and they've been really loud because they were talking it through. My husband claims that programming is always easier if you're talking through what you're doing out loud, especially if you're doing it together. So he was trying to help my son with his work without doing it for him. So he kept having to ask him what he was doing to explain to him to work it through out loud and to, you know, that sort of thing. And so, but they were so loud, so loud. I'm going to go back round again because this one is a bit messy. I have to sharpen up a little bit, it probably helped. And so we went out and we walked along the canal as we always do. Oh, not always, but we walked along the canal and I said, "Should we go and have a look along the river for a change?" So we diverted off the canal because they run parallel. Well, the river actually runs under the canal at some places, but anyway, this part they ran parallel, so we popped across to the river and walked along there. And because I'd heard they were, there used to be a sort of little play area along by the river, and I'd seen in the news that we're going to be doing something with it and making, because it's completely overgrown, because it's not like a play area with concrete or anything, you know, it's just cut away into the shrubbery. And so we went and had a little look. It's quite a long walk along there. And they hadn't done anything, they hadn't started, so it was still really overgrown, but that was fine. We had a lovely walk. The river was beautiful because it was sunny. We were under the trees, so it was shady, and the river's quite high and it was moving along a lot, making a lovely noise. Can I use, no, that's the wrong pencil. I want my dark sepia, slightly brown. I'm going to do this little bit of shadow in here. So the river was running along, could hear it beautifully trickling along, and the sun was making beautiful patterns all over it. I mean, you know me, I don't like hot weather, it's quite warm, that's why we were wearing our hats. But yeah. I'm going to put a little bit of this just on the edges. I really want them to look dark. And it was really pretty, and we walked along. It was quite muddy. We had to keep jumping over big muddy squodgy bits. At one point my son had to give me his hand to help me. It was quite funny. He was rather sweet because next time there was a bit he offered to help. I said, "No, I'm okay this time." But we had a lovely walk. There we go. What I'm going to do is just go over them in the lighter green again, just to try and sort of blend it all together. This is leaf green. I'm trying to help you see it. The light's really bad. So I've got my lamp on because I had to shut the blind. It's so sunny today. Anyway, so we walked along there. We got onto the edge of the town near the canal. As we came off that path, it sort of takes you up. So we came back along the canal after. But as we were coming back, we saw, well, I thought I saw the kingfisher. I saw a bird and it looked slightly orangey, like kingfishers can be. And then my son said he saw a flash of blue as it flew back the other way. So we were both very honoured to see it, and at different times. But I was checking the water at that point to see if I could see the otter, which we didn't see. But you know, you can't have it all. Now for this pot, I'd quite like to give it a metallic look. Now I've just been, oh excuse me, it's blowing my nose a bit, whacking my nose a bit. I've just been doing a sheet with metallics on metallic combinations using Prismacolor. Just for a bit of fun. Well, I've been asked to do it, but I'm going to try and do it for this pot in Polychromos. I'm going to start with a burnt sienna, and I'm going to do these two thicker stripes the same, and the legs, and then do a few, yeah. So I'm going to start here with a fairly intense layer, and then just fade like that. And I'm going for a sort of, not necessarily bronzy, but sort of brownish metallic. You'll see. I hope it's going to work. So we felt very honoured seeing Kingfish, and we also grabbed some milk so that we could have a nice drink when we got back because it was so warm. Next I'm going to use this colour. This is the brown ochre. It's small, isn't it? I would use my extender, but I'm not going to be using it for long enough to really worry about it. So go over what you've done and just extend that colour along a bit. Oops. There. So we came back and I had an iced coffee. I just make it really simply. I just make up a tiny bit of instant coffee and swish it around until it's dissolved. So I just put a really small bit of hot water on it. And then put some ice in there, had some ice in the freezer. This is the green gold. It's going to be our last colour for this bit. Just giving it a sharpen. And yeah, I actually just topped it with milk, but sometimes I put a bit of water in as well, green gold. Oh, I've got an itch. Yeah, I just topped it with milk. I'm trying to have a little bit more protein, so I thought have a bit, make it milkier, because I don't know if I mentioned before, but my hair never seems to grow. And I had it cut, and I'm pleased with the cut, but I wanted it to grow a bit longer, and it really doesn't feel like it's grown very much. And I realise that hair doesn't always grow as fast as we think, but mine doesn't seem to ever grow. So I think I'm going to do a sort of reddy colour, my next bit. So I was reading about what helps hair grow. This is burnt carmine. And something I read said, you know, there's a myth that it grows more in the summer. It doesn't really necessarily grow more in the summer. I was like, oh, that's a shame. But it said that what does help hair to grow, I'm trying to work out what to do with this zigzaggy bit. I'm going to do it all the same colour. I can't think of a way to do it in the metallic any other way. So I'm going to do it. We won't ignore the zigzags, we'll just incorporate them at the end. You'll see. Now what? Where should we go from here? Quite a pinky red, isn't it? We could go for the carmine actually. This is the pink carmine. We use this one. But it said yes, protein. Hair needs protein. I was thinking I don't actually have lots of protein. I try to have some, but I don't have loads. I do. The problem is that I'm dairy intolerant to dairy, and I can't cope with lots of protein. It doesn't. My tummy doesn't like it. So I don't eat a lot of protein. I can't eat nuts or seeds because my tummy doesn't like those. I'm going to finish with the rose carmine. So need to leave a bit that's white like we did here. We want a line down the middle looking shiny. So it's quite tricky. So I do always have some beans, lentils, something, chickpeas, that sort of thing each day for my meal. I was thinking maybe it's not really enough. Occasionally I have a bit of fish. So I'm going back to my burnt carmine because I don't feel like those dark areas are dark enough. Just going back to here, putting a bit more down. So today for for my lunch I made a sort of pea topping. I want to say pea hummus or pea pesto, but it wasn't really either of those. Now we're going to put in a little bit of shadow on our pot to make it look like it isn't just flat. So with regards to the layers of colour, see this bit, I think if we put some dark sepia under here, it'll look like it's slightly, do a bit lighter on this bit where I've got so much white. It will look like it's sort of not completely flat. And I'm thinking maybe we should do that for the rest of it as well. So like make a little ridge under here. A bit darker and bigger on the edges. Like that. And then maybe around this one to try and make it look like this red layer is slightly sunk in. So if we put a shadow below this line here, again fade it a bit towards the middle, and then above this one. Might look slightly dipped in. Try and do a little bit more. So yeah, so I got some frozen peas and I microwaved them. I think I ended up microwaving them for 3 minutes, but obviously it depends how many you have, until they were defrosted. I'm going to get the white and just do a bit. Firstly, where I went over the lines inside the leaves. Yeah, so I defrosted some peas and I smushed them up a little bit with the back of a fork. I think it would have been better if I'd put them in the food processor, but there weren't really enough. Next time I'll do more. I didn't really know how many to do, and it was just right for me, but of course I could have put some in the fridge. I'm going to put a bit of shine. I think our leaves will be quite shiny. I can put some down the side of our pot, like that. Yes, so I added some lemon, a bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and then spread it on some toast. I had to end up eating it with a knife and fork because it didn't stay on the toast. But if I'd done it in the food processor, I'm sure it would have done. It was a bit different and a bit more protein. There we go. There is our pot. Yeah, I'm not going to do another one, I don't think. I think one is plenty to sort of show you. So yes, that took probably about 20 minutes. So a few minutes might be a bit of an, depends how much effort you want to take. I mean, obviously I've sat here and I've used lots of different pencils. I've fussed about, I've done little details, I've done shadow, light and shade. I've made some sort of metallic looking details and everything else. If you didn't want to do that, you could just simply get a green and a red and it wouldn't take you very long at all. So it depends what you're looking for really. And the joy with this, with having a download, is that you can print it off as many times as you wish. Now, I noticed when I looked this up on Agata's Etsy shop that it said that I had an offer at the moment for 15% off anything of hers. Now, I am lucky I don't buy these. She sends them to me as a gift and I show them to you. She doesn't send them to me for that reason. She says that I don't have to do that. It's a sort of thank you. She watches my videos, so hi Agata. It's I always think it's lovely to share them, and it gives me something to show you on video, and I love colouring her pages, and I don't always have a lot of time for colouring everything, particularly as I have this sort of urge to finish books, so downloads isn't something that I colour so much. But so these are lovely. It means I get a chance to do a little bit on camera. So in my description there's a code for 10% off, but look on Etsy first because you might get a 15% off. I think that might be for past customers, but I really have no idea. So have a look and see. I mean, obviously it depends when you're watching this, deals will change, but the 10% one would always be there for you. So that you have to use my link and then find these. These are the first item on her page, and as I said at the beginning, they're called Tiny Doodles Leafy Plants in Pots. The other thing I need to tell you is that the Colouring Heaven magazine has a summer edition out at the moment, and it features some of Agata's pictures. Now they have a flip through on their YouTube page, so you can go and have a look, because I think there are 4, maybe 5 different illustrators, so it isn't just Agata's work. I think there are about 6 pages of hers, if I remember, and they're all smaller ones. So Colouring Heaven is an A4 sheet like the size of this, but hers, she has like 6 items per page, so the smaller items like her tinies, which I think is quite a nice way to do it. So that's available. I'll put my affiliate link for that in the description as well, in case you want to have a look. As I say, there is a video by Colouring Heaven with a flip through, so if you want to check and see what they all look like, that's fine. I don't know if you can buy it in the shops or whether it's just one of their online ones, because some of their magazines you get in the shops and some of them you don't. Some of them you can only get online, so I get a bit confused. But anyway, it doesn't matter too much, but follow the link, have a look. And they do post worldwide, and I don't think the postage is that silly for foreign. I mean, considering the price of foreign postage, I think it's pretty reasonable really. If I bought it and posted it out, it would cost more than they charge postage for USA, for example, because I haven't looked into it before. Right, I'm going to stop talking now. Do take a look at the description though, please. There's all sorts of very exciting information down there. You'll love it. Especially just before bed, if you're feeling like you need to nod off, have a good old look. But have a super day. Thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.